Good day. This is Paul Eugene, and welcome to Christian Mindfulness Meditations for our body, our soul, and our spirits. Grace and peace be to you from God our Father and our Lord Jesus Christ. A new day has been given to you and to me. Let us unwrap this gift of today. Today's word is rest. You know, I work out about 6 days a week, and you probably are busy doing 6 days a week too. But today, let us find that rest and peace for our soul. Perhaps you are carrying a heavy burden. You're feeling a lot of tension, stressed out. Jesus responded to that. He says, "Come to me, all who are of a heavy burden, stressed out, tense, and I will give you rest for your souls." When we take Jesus' invitation to heart and come to him and say, "Jesus, I have a heavy heart, a heavy soul, a heavy burden. Can you take this heavy burden for me?" And Christ says, yes. See, Christ is greater than any burden that we may carry, that we may experience in our lives. I want us to be mindful of these words again from Jesus. When he said, "Come to me, all who are of a heavy burden, all who are stressed out, all who are full of tension in their lives, and he will grant and give us that rest for our souls." That rest doesn't mean the elimination of problems. That rest doesn't mean that we're going to be walking through a rose garden. As we reflect, Jesus Christ himself did not walk through a rose garden when he was here on the earth. He had trials and tribulation, was even trouble in his own soul, to show us that he can relate to our stresses and our tensions. Let us come to him and enter into that rest for our souls. I'm reminded of the Apostle Paul. At one time, he said that he was going through such a struggle that he even despised of life. But he became mindful again of Christ, and he entered into that peace for his soul. It is written that if we keep our mind on him, he will keep us in his perfect peace. Not the peace that this world offers to us. Sometimes we seek peace through occupying our minds by being entertained, by going shopping, by eating. And that is a form of trying to ease away the pain or the stress that we are dealing with. But we find out that all the shopping we did, all the eating we did, all the entertainment we did, it didn't eliminate the tension, because it came back because we did not enter into that rest and that peace that God promises for us. You know, the other day I was going through some personal tension, and I was very emotional, and it got so dark that I didn't see any way out. In fact, I was quite shocked that I discovered that my emotional state had gotten to that place, and how it was starting to cloud on my mental state that, like the Apostle Paul, even I, for a moment, despise of life. But the Spirit of God came upon me and began to let me be mindful of Christ, and that all my hope for today and for all my tomorrows are in Him. So I found rest. I found peace for my soul. So today, whatever you are carrying, whatever you are stressing out about, just come to Christ and He will give you rest for your souls. I was thinking also, like, how people sometimes say, if I can't have that person in my life, if I can't have that person as my spouse, then I don't want anyone at all. My friends, that is a huge mistake. But when we're caught up in the emotions of that, when we are intensely emotionally engaged in a relationship, it blinds us sometimes that we forget that there is more to our lives than that particular relationship. And at that point, we have a decision to make. We either will turn and become mindful of God, mindful of Christ, pour that burden over to Him, and He will give us rest and peace for our souls. I believe many of us forfeit healings to our body. I believe that many of us have illnesses and health-related issues because we are carrying that stress, and sometimes we don't want to let that go. We have become too familiar, too comfortable in that stress and that pain that we're fearful even to let it go. My friends, as we come to Christ with our heavy burden, He will give us that peace and rest for our souls. And we may be surprised at what we will find. That burden that we thought had us captured down, we can experience the freedom. Oftentimes we forfeit that rest and that freedom because we're afraid to let go. You heard that phrase, let go and let God. It'll take you to a place that you've never been before, and you will be amazed. I am amazed at the trials and difficulties that Christ has brought me through. I can remember one day that I even went through a dark moment where I didn't think that I was going to live to see another day. And all during that tribulation, that dark moment, all I did was lay still and say, you know what, Jesus, you're not taking my pain away, but I believe that you are here with me. And I enter into that rest. And I just rested in Him, and He brought me through it. So I encourage myself, and I'm encouraging you, that many times we wander away from that peaceful shore, or we wander away from that rest of Christ because we set our heart and our mind on something else. But because God is so merciful and so patient and so gracious, He always comes to us, offering us that rest and peace for our souls. So this mindful meditation today, the word is rest. I trust that you will accept an invitation from Jesus to come to him and roll your burdens on him and enter into that rest for your soul. This is Paul Eugene. Everyone have a blessed day.